announced that it will hold a presidential election on the 28th of June. According to Iran's state media, the election calendar was approved at a meeting of the heads of the judiciary, government and parliament. In the meantime, Vice President Mohammad Mokhber has been appointed as the country's interim president. Iran's cabinet has appointed Deputy Foreign Minister Ali Bagheri Kani as acting foreign minister. And joining me from Baghdad in neighboring Iraq is my colleague Stuart Smith. Stuart, what more can you tell us about the funeral ceremonies for Iran's president?
Well, funerals is the right word because there's not just one being held. They're starting in Tabriz, the capital of East Azerbaijan, the region where the president and his entourage were flying over when that crash happened. They've been taken there for the first funeral, which is taking place now, just wrapping up. And now then, after that, the bodies of those who died in this helicopter crash will be moved to a second city of Qom in central Iran before going to Tehran, the capital of the country, and that will be the main funeral ceremony, which is due to take place tomorrow. Now, all of these funeral sessions are not just for the president, as you suggested. They're also for the foreign minister, the two regional officials killed, and the pilots of the aircraft, as well as the Iranian president's bodyguard, all of them deceased in that crash. And in order to make those arrangements in Tehran, the capital, effectively the whole city will be closed down. That's the terminology that the Iranian government is using. The city will be closed to make those traffic arrangements possible, and also to represent further that period of mourning, which in Iran is going on for 5 days. And in solidarity with Iran, we're seeing a day of mourning in Syria, Lebanon, Pakistan, and of course India as well.
Indeed. And also, Stuart, what do we know about an Iranian investigation into the helicopter crash?
Well, there was a suggestion that Russia could help with that investigation. It has a lot of experience, but it looks like this will be purely conducted by Iranian authorities. The chief of the general staff of the Iranian military initiated an investigation earlier in the week, and they'll be looking at, of course, what caused the helicopter to crash after initial assessments blamed the poor weather conditions, dense fog, incredibly poor visibility, freezing temperatures, and also this was flying over a mountainous forested region of Iran. Very difficult conditions to fly a helicopter, but they'll also be looking as to the sequence of events. For example, Turkey says because Iran is in its emergency zone, it's obliged to respond if an accident happens in Iran because they border each other. It was looking out for this helicopter, and they didn't see a GPS signal from that helicopter. One of the lines of inquiry will be why. Is it because the helicopter didn't have the right equipment, or because it was turned off? And further to that, whether the helicopter didn't have the right equipment because of US sanctions, something a former foreign minister has said makes the US partly to blame in this crash, because the aviation industry in Iran has struggled for 40 years without access to the most modern aviation equipment.
Stuart, thank you. And India, meanwhile,